Okay, so this is totally a test. On the Australian acrylic pouring channel, there is a challenge number 5, which is Northern Lights colors. So I've mixed them up. Now, I typically am a Floetrol girl. I almost always have poured strictly with Floetrol. But I love Julie Kutz's paintings, and she always uses glue all. And so I picked up a large bottle of glue all for a couple of bucks and decided, why not? I'm going to give it a try. So I mixed my glue all, 70% glue all, 30% water by weight. Mixed it in here, filtered it. So I've got this, pouring medium. Now, again, I only have ever used Floetrol, so this is completely a test for me. So not only am I trying the colors, but I'm also trying the pouring medium, and we'll see how it goes. So it's Northern Lights, and this color scheme is supposed to be a pretty green. I ended up mixing, well, I'll talk about, but anyway, so pretty green, a pale green, a light purple, a bright blue, a very dark blue, and then a dark purple. So I have mixed each one of these. 1 part paint, 1 part glue all pouring medium. The craft paints, I'm finding them to be too thin. So I've thinned down the ones that I had Liquitex Basics that I used, or Artist Loft. So I'll talk about that after I get to pouring. I'm also not used to using this, but I figured since it's a test, might as well. It's an Artist Loft it's just the cardboard, like the thick board. And I have a new light, thanks to my daughter Savannah. And so unfortunately, the camera setup is not perfect, so I'm still working on that. So I am going to do a flip cup. I'm going to flip 3 of them. Why not? So I've got some, currently have some. It's not going to be enough paint if I do these size cups. I'm going to, even though, you know what? I'm going to do more than 2, or I'm going to do 4. And I'm just going to flip and drag instead of, I'm sorry, I should have thought about this. So these already have holes in the bottom of them. So I just put tape on them and reuse them, but I'm not going to. I'm going to use more paint than that. I'm going to use more. So I'm going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These hold 2 ounces of paint. Clearly you can't see 2 of them. There we go. Not liking the camera angle, I apologize. So I'm going to 5 times 2 ounces is going to be 10 ounces. Each one of my paints, by the way, does have a silicone already in it. And it says no white, so I guess I'm going to have to do black as my base coat. So, I don't know. Let's see. The dimethicone, I love, or sorry, the dioxazine purple, I love it. I absolutely love it. However, it can very quickly take over a painting. So again, I've already got the silicone added, and the consistency that I'm pouring at. Oh, that's a big chunk. Man, you need to add more water. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, need to add some more water. So I tend to like to keep it so, and the water I'm pouring in, so in case you see it, I mix it with a little bit of Floetrol in it. But I tend to kind of try and fill the stick that I'm stirring with and pour it off of the stick and then count to an 8 count. So it shouldn't break, the stream shouldn't break for 8 seconds after. So that's kind of what I'm looking for when after I've stirred it, and I feel like there's lots and lots of bubbles in this glue wall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah, almost to an 8 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost 8. Okay, but much better. Okay, so I'm going to put this in the base of each of my cups. Again, I'm a little concerned that this paint will have a tendency to take over. So I'm going to put lots of lights next to it. That'll also help it pop. What is nice is because there's no white or yellow. Really, these colors are, these color choices that is in this challenge are very beautiful. I'm quite excited to be pouring with them. What I like a lot about them is that there's not a great deal of problems with them getting muddy. So typically, complementary colors tend to get muddy. And so when I'm talking about a complementary color, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, see, and this is a little thinner than I like to work with. I left it with the lid open, hoping it would thicken up a little bit. So a complementary color. So purple, complementary to purple is yellow. Complementary to blue is orange. Complementary to red is green. And those tend to be colors that are across from one another on the color wheel. So this is about color theory when you're thinking about what happens when colors turn muddy. And so I tend to either avoid muddy colors, or I tend to layer some pouring medium, just plain pouring medium between them. They're great for creating contrast. I know that some people say if you have the paint thicker, or how you pour it into the cup, or your application. Yeah, all those things matter too. But anyway. Okay, let's do the green. Now to get this green, I didn't have really this green. Lots of different greens. This one, I took phthalo green and mixed in with it the Liquitex Basics fluorescent green until I got the green that I thought I wanted. And again, all of them have silicone added. I put in 3 drops. These cups hold, sorry, the mixing cups that I have hold 3 ounces. So I put in 5 drops of treadmill oil. No, 3 drops, sorry. 3 drops of treadmill oil for each 3 ounces. And I do believe in washing my paints, or washing out my dishes, so I have put them in the sink and I will wash them. So this is the DecoArt Navy. I've also labeled my lids so I know what's in them, in case I have leftovers. Doesn't look like I'm going to, but and again, I mix them all 1 to 1 with the Glue-All pouring medium. And I hope you can see some of this. I'm sorry that you can't, if you can't. Again, I had a really nice setup before and can't seem to find a way. I have this camera mounting mechanism. It's supposed to work on the side of a table. However, it does not fit on my table. This is one of my favorite purples. It is the Craftsmart Metallic Purple. Guess I got a little heavy-handed on that first pour. So we're gonna have 1 cup without this in it. I just have to put it in the middle, so at least I have some balance. And the last one is the Ultramarine. This one is also an Artist Loft Ultramarine, and something I'm noticing on the top of it, it was definitely reacting already, whether it was to the silicone or to the Glue-All. It definitely had a texture. So, don't want it too dark. And again, no white was allowed, so I have to figure out how I'm gonna put, where I'm gonna put these. I'm gonna try and do, okay, so go like this. The one in the center has no purple in it, so let's go with it. Oh, that was not too bad. And then I'll put my black around. Okay, that one got a little crazy on me. My cups sit for a minute. That was good. Doing a good job hitting the cup, right? Not meaning to hit the cup, I'm meaning to get the lip of the cup buried underneath, so I can get some lacing. And I'm going to hit the corners, just so I don't have to feel obligated to get there. I'm going to put on some gloves. My hands have already gotten a little bit scunchy, but I'm going to put on some gloves. At least. And I also recycle my gloves. I haven't poured in a couple of weeks. I'm a teacher, and my school year, the end of the school year, was super crazy. So, and then of course with the holidays. Okay, so let me rub my corners. I just want to make sure that I can get there, or if I don't have to feel the need to get there. All right. All 4 corners have been hit. Let's start with this one. I'm going to pop it. I'm not feeling it move as much as I want to. I like the air. Come on. Okay. Oh yeah, much better. I can just feel the paint as it moves out of the cup. Okay, the back one. This tray that I'm pouring in is actually from Olga's Smart Art Materials website. It is a, it's a pretty cup inside. It's a box. It's an under-the-bed storage box from IKEA with holes drilled into it and some silver or some stainless steel rods. All right, I'm loving it already. It is tons of cells. My concern is that they're gonna, oh, that's worse. But I know that there's lots of bubbles in this glue wall. I have to hit it. If I don't, I know it'll get pocketed. So I have to do this. But I am loving the cell action I'm getting here, so I'm thrilled. I don't feel like I have too much paint. I do want to kind of, I do want to let it sit. I want to let it sit for a minute. So I'm going to let it sit and do its thing, and I don't want to touch it while I tell you about the paints. So the Ultramarine is Artist Loft Ultramarine. The navy, it's the Apple Barrel Deep Navy Satin Acrylic. The light green is the Americana Deco Art. Again, the metallic purple is the Craftsmart Metallic Purple. The darker of the two greens, again, I told you I mixed the fluorescent green and the quinacridone, and then the purple is the Dioxazine Liquitex Basics. So I don't want to move it. No, I've got to. Part I don't like is this really dark navy that's here and the holes. So I don't like this black. I love what the purple is doing. They're dendrite, like the dendrites are coming out. That is too cool. So I need to tip it off the sides, but I'm so pleased with all four sides, it doesn't matter. So really, I just need to get rid of this blue. So I'm going to start by tipping it and come on, go, 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 go. Hit the corner. All right. I'm going to try and bring it back to the center. That way I'm not stretching too much out. I'm going to go ahead and drop that over the edge. Come on, hit that edge. There we go. Then back towards me. I'm going to try and help this along, pulling the edge of this paint down just to kind of get it moving. I don't want to lose too much paint here, but I do want it to go over that edge. Come on. All right, I'm going to tip this way. Okay, I've just moved it way too much. Now it's all stretched, so I'm going to try and move it back. So you can see I've stretched my cells. Paint's not thick enough. Tried moving it too fast. Starting to get some muddiness. So, and too much movement. Like, I love movement. Come on, come over the edge. But I loved what I had. Still not liking these two big blotches. I'm going to hit them with the torch and see if that can help. And I'm hoping that more cells develop as it sits. So let me get something for my hands. I'm going to hit this very bright blue here and the navy that's here with the torch, focusing on those two areas because they're just big swaths of color. There's so many bubbles in this. I mean, I'm telling, they're everywhere. There are bubbles everywhere. Well, I mean, I'm not completely unhappy with it. There are some beautiful things that are happening. And there are some moments, and I think if it just sits, so what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to pause the recording and just let it do its thing. Because there's some beautiful lacing. There's beautiful like multicolor cells happening in several different places. The threading over the corners is fabulous. I'm really glad I hit those corners the way I did. So the things I learned, either my glue wall should be more glue wall and less water, or maybe I should let it sit out and kind of dry up, or pour some gel medium. I think I've got some gel medium in my drawer from an old time. So it definitely needs to be a bit thicker. So that's the first thing I learned, because the cells didn't keep. So it was beautiful when it came out. And but there was way too much paint, so it was beautiful, but I couldn't just leave it the way it was. I needed to get some of the paint off, because otherwise it's going to crack and dry. So it was a beautiful painting with too much paint, so I had to pour it, but because the thickness of the paint was so thin, all of the beautiful texture that I had in it stretched out and faded away with the movement. So either thicker mix, go back to my Floetrol. So that was the thing I was considering for the next attempt was, there's a few more bubbles I need to pop on this, but doing the exact same colors, same layering, same technique, but using just the Floetrol. And then that torching really does bring out bubbles or bring out the cells in glue walls. So there's several like bubbles that are not popping. You know, Julie mentioned in a video just the other day how she feels like there's pockets that happen. And you know what? I really see them. There's a couple. So I can imagine them totally just drying. So I'm going to let it sit and dry, and hopefully some more action will move. It'll move as it dries. They always do. And we'll see you. I'm going to try and give you some close-ups. I hope the lighting is good. I mean, there's some, so sorry about that glare. Hopefully I've gotten it. I love the light because it is an alt light and it really gives real natural light. Sorry about the glare, so I'm hoping. So this is the way I'm configuring it. Sorry. Let's see from above. Get my finger out of the way. All right.